in this house the most dire, horrible events took place.
You are not content with the stories somebody's lives come. Be my victim.
Through watching scenes of violence, through watching scenes of transgression, through watching scenes of horror. There's an enormous amount of sort of abattoiral excess.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
How true are those words? Haven't we all gone a little mad sometimes? I in a moment of madness, forgot to confirm with our wonderful guest Wes, and he would in fact be opening this month's arc. I left him in the dark, but he's going to come here. He's going to be here as soon as he can, and there'll be a delightful surprise when we actually get him. But I am so excited to start this arc.
What a way to kick it off.
Do you like the 90s or something? I keep hearing that the 90s was cringe.
Oh, fake news. How can you say the 90s are cringe after watching this?
I don't know, emo girl.
Haryan's off with the fighting talk already. Slandering my queen, my real queen, who I simp for, Clea Duvall. You're on thin ice, Sonny Jim.
I'm going to say, am I going to have to whip out the cancel Haryan hashtag again?
Absolutely. I may have to get a banner going. How are you doing, chat? I'm seeing all the right people in here. Hello, Yiz. Hello, Weezy. I'm seeing Fez, Needle, and Fur. You made it. Good to see you. Andrew Wolford made it. Bilbo is hanging on, fueled by the Nescafe Gold Blend. Good stuff. Bilbo, are you Aussie? I forget, man. Don't have to if you don't want to. But are you one of our esteemed Australian elite here on Double Feature Horror Show? Let me know. I'm watching out for that. I don't know if we'll get Mr. Gently Benevolent, but if he gets in, he is super welcome. As it is about 6 a.m. for him. It is ambitious, and I'm always kind of impressed when he makes it live.
That's why I stream much later to make sure I catch him.
Exactly. So, yeah, Bilbo's confirmed. Good on you, sir. Good on you. So, 6 a.m. for you? Well done. Well done, you. Anyway, I will not hang around too much longer. I'll get into things. I realised something I neglected to do scandalously is I haven't got the graphic for our new arc. And I should have that up. I know. What am I like?
You've absolutely ruined this episode. Why are we even bothering?
Oh, Haryan, so mean. Let's get that up. And you can see why I'm so excited to do the 90s sci-fi horror arc. Oh, look at that. This was a tough call.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's a
very
long arc.
An absolute hero. Okay. I hope you all managed the homework. We haven't actually got a topic this week because I figured this could go long. I know I am a massive fan of this, so I'm playing it safe. Also, as I told that crime guy, the next topic is BBFC history. And I don't want to spoil you guys. I know you love your BBFC history. But I don't want to overdose you on it.
Well, I was saying, I unironically enjoyed the last one we did. I'm not lying. But then I unironically enjoyed all the other ones. So,
It's working. I'm just here rubbing my hands like, it's all coming to plan.
Do you have autism?
Well,
that's a general question.
I might do. It runs in the family.
It is a question for literally everyone, including the chat.
It has been suggested. Oh, I think we can also say hi to the Cabal. Hey, Cabal. Good on you.
Hey, Cabal.
Yep. I know y'all popped in and did the live stream when we did vampires, so good on you. All right. So as you can see, we're doing the faculty this week. I think we're heading for Alien 3 afterwards. I think that's probably the order we'll work on. Dark City is not going to be on a Tuesday night. We're going to cram it in as a rogue stream. That's going to run a little bit like the one we did on St. Maud. So hopefully get Auron McIntyre and Last Things on again as a little side team. You know, the what would you say? I'm trying to think
Go
of
for
it.
it.
Alternate team. Yes.
That's it. Substitutes.
Substitutes. There we go.
You use the bench.
Well, it's yes, exactly. All right. Well, whew. I think the hype is set in. I don't think I'm making all that much sense. I'm going to hand over to some more composed guests while I get my head together. How are you doing, that crime guy?
I am very good, thank you. I've actually been unusually active on my own channel for a change, but not with the true crime stuff. But we have been doing a bit of a murder mystery over on there, playing some Wolf Among Us, which I found out the other day has Roger Jackson in it, Mr. Ghostface from Scream. So evidently, I was going to say, when I did my last true crime video, I threw in some BBFC lore in there, and then I find out that we've got a Scream reference in the Wolf Among Us, and I'm just thinking to myself, mate, how much are these streams rubbing off on the stuff that influences me? It's unbelievable, even subconsciously.
Slowly it has an effect. You know, this much exposure, you can't. It's not as effective as, you know, vomiting a parasite directly into your ear, but I do have an effect.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need to be face to face to do that, but why aren't we wearing our glamours? I'm wearing my glamour. Can you not see it? It's one of these Backstreet ones. It's one of the Backstreet ones. I've donned my Josh Hartnett one.
Yeah. Oh man, the artwork on that stuff, The Wolf Among Us, it's so good. It looks reminds me of that show Arcane.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely Telltale's.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, it's their pièce de résistance. And I found out the other day as well that they're going to be releasing basically the sequel, which was supposed to come out back in 2018, before Telltale went belly up, is coming out next year. There was a trailer that dropped in February that I somehow missed, and it just looks beautiful.
Was that only in February? I thought that.
Yeah, IGN dropped it in February, and other places as well. Meanwhile, I'm not going to talk about that scene. It's edited out. Got the old blur.
Was it the one with tits?
It was the one with.
Yeah. I know.
It's a Telltale game.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. Yeah, I completely.
There's tits in basically every single game.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. In the pudding and pie scene, there's you go and speak to Georgie Porgy.
You saw her pie?
We didn't see the pie, but we saw her babs.
Oh, shocking.
And I was somehow the stream stayed up, which was amazing. Monetization became an issue, but then once it processed, I had to quickly go in and work some blurry magic, and it seems to have got green lit now. So YouTube are anti-breasts.
Yeah. Even cartoon bubbins.
Yeah.
Shocking. And well, what intro can I give? I am the Ruby Rod to his Corbin Dallas. How are you, Haryan?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You're taking that 90s reference just on the chin, just like rolling with it.
I am half lost with these 90s references. I'll be honest. I was born in the late 90s, so everything I know of the 90s, I basically know through my older siblings.
That's okay. That's
so
okay.
There you go. I've only started watching Friends this year. Never seen it before.
Wow.
That is impressive. I'm
it's
still
pretty funny.
Yeah. So the question I really like working into this is, what was your knowledge of this before the stream? I know there's a lot of chat is super hyped. They know these films. They're maybe been rewatched many a time, and an extra excuse to rewatch is very welcome. But is this completely new to you?
Yeah, the only thing I really knew about it is that it was a bit like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because you were like, "Oh, watch this fourth film that week," and I was like, "No." But I knew it would be like it, and I knew you obviously. Well, yeah, I was going to say go on about it a lot, but you don't really. But I know you like it, so I was expecting big things from it, and it is basically Invasion of the Body Snatchers in a '90s high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Needle and Fur. That's a pretty accurate description of it. Invasion of the Body Snatchers plus The Thing times Cruel Intentions. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised you didn't go for times Scream. I mean, Scream is surely one of the biggest. Maybe I should have done it the other way around. I'll have a think. How is Haryan being accused of having the squeaky voice on this stream? Honestly, Mergu, that you've thrown me with that one. Yeah, so Scream has to be the biggest influence on this, and there's an interesting thing. You start the credits on this, and it'll tell you loudly, proudly, this was written by Kevin Williamson. That is somewhat questionable.
Wait, why is it questionable?
Questionable? Why?
Okay, right. So we'll talk a little bit on the, just really briefly on the setting of this, because sometimes I forget to sort of set things in context. The Faculty is released in 1998, and Kevin Williamson is on an absolute high. We've discussed this before. Scream has come out in 1996. It's blown people away. People are absolutely loving Dawson's Creek. It's still running. You know, he's basically the hottest thing on the market. He's, you know, like J.J. Abrams was a few years ago, or Joss Whedon 10 years before that. Kevin Williamson is the sought-after writer. So Scream is such a success, they immediately go for his back catalogue. They put I Know What You Did Last Summer into production and get that out in 1997. Scream 2 comes out in 1997. And they say, what else have you got? Well, he doesn't have all that much else. He's still busily writing. But there is a story, a script by David Wester and Bruce Kimmel. And they brought him, you know, that evidently hadn't been enough to get made. So they brought Kevin Williamson in to do a rewrite and a touch-up on it. And then gave him the full writing credit.
As you do.
Might be justified.
Nice.
You don't know how much he changed it. That's the important thing. I mean, if he's absolutely worked it over, it's basically a complete different thing. Fair play, but I sometimes wonder, you know.
Who knows? It is, you know, it's pretty well written, so I can imagine he could get all the credit.
Oh yeah, I am not faulting it at all.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like a Kevin Williamson film, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even like some of the scenes are quite reminiscent of just like the way sort of Scream itself was filmed. Like I noticed after the opening scene, I believe the very next scene is sort of like pans from the top of the school down, just like it does in Scream.
Yes, totally does.
So it has that touch on it. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the writing credits, I mean, it depends on how much of this film or how much of the script he rewrote. To, you know, I suppose if he rewrote the majority of it, then it would make sense that they would give him sole credit. But equally, you could be like, that's a bit moody. Like the other lads wrote a couple of words at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a story credit rather than like a co-written by.
Oh, okay. So they are mentioned.
Oh yes. No, they get the story credit. It's just
fair then.
But then the whole dialogue does have the feel of Kevin Williamson. I just wanted to acknowledge you guys. And he is, once again, like Scream, he's really woven things in, except Scream does also sort of channel the films that it's referencing, but this one is very clearly channeling, it's already been raised, The Thing. You can't miss that.
No.
Like quite obviously, it's doing the Thing homage in several places. But I like this comment. Sorry, I think it was you, Needle and Fur. That was a bit mean. Would you say? Would you say so? Bit of a meaner vibe to this one, guys.
I
Yeah,
suppose you could
all
say,
the
yeah.
kids were total twats. Like they really were.
I mean, unlike Scream, because all of the main characters like know each other and have like friendships. These are all characters that have just sort of like been thrown in together, haven't they? Because of what's been going on. The only characters really are the jock and Delilah, who were obviously in a relationship. But other than that, everyone else doesn't really. Prior to what happened, they didn't really interact with each other, so I can imagine there'd be a bit of tension.
Yeah, I was thinking of like the beginning where the scene is just made to look, the school is made to look like an absolute hellhole. You know,
oh yeah,
it's very extreme stuff. If there's an image that encapsulates it, it might be this. Just
oh god,
poor Mary Beth.
Mary Beth, it's like, oh, your nose ring looks nice. It's like, stop it, Mary Beth. You can't be this.
Yeah.
You can't be that socially unaware.
Yeah. By the way, that woman is the director's sister.
Oh, is it?
Wait, which woman? There's three.
Yeah.
Apologies. The woman with the tattoos and the nose ring is Robert Rodriguez's sister.
He needs to get a better sister.
Yeah. Kevin Williamson, as we said, was the hottest thing at the time. He was asked to direct, but he had his own side project that he wanted to do, which was teaching Mrs. Tingle with Helen Mirren. I haven't actually seen it.
I've never heard of it.
I've meant to correct that. But they got Robert Rodriguez in for this, and I think you do. There's some benefits to bringing him in, but also there are a few weaknesses that I think we will cover over the course of this stream. TCG, I didn't actually ask you your experience with The Faculty.
Yeah, loads of times.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite. One of my favorite horror films of the 90s. I do like it.
Good. Yeah, I mean the casting is pretty darn epic. For all the talk of how mean this film is, there's one guy having a great time. Jason Patrick.
Which is
the T-1000.
T-1000. Oh,
playing the coach. He's having the best time.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's having an absolute whale of a time with this film, just maybe hamming it up more than he's ever been able to do before.
Oh, you mean Robert Patrick?
Oh, sorry, Robert Patrick. Yes, absolutely. Apologies. Yes.
So don't worry. Don't worry. I was calling Roger Jackson Robert Jackson in my first Wolf Among Us stream, so it happens to the best of us. I'll tell you, one person who I forgot that was in this film was Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
I completely forgot that he was in this one. He played.
He played Gordon Freeman, basically.
Yeah. Professor Edward Furlong.
Oh, yeah.
A very interesting name.
Oh, get this. I'm just looking at the IMDb, right? And looking at the casting list. And one of the things that we spotted was anyone who watched the film in preparation to this, there's a couple that are arguing in sort of like the background at certain points of the film.
Oh, I'll get
and spotted that the boy was Bobby from the Scary Movie films, and he's credited in this film as Q Boy, and his girlfriend, played by Summer Phoenix, is Q Girl.
Nice. Yeah, they've also got credits for two characters called F Up #1 and F Up #2. What is it?
The 90s was a very cynical time. You know, what can I say?
But he actually looks like Bobby there, like in these mannerisms.
He really does. I love it. Yeah, I mean, you'll notice in this, it's very meta. It's riding the screen wave. This is a very meta film, and just there's something that really suits that in having the guy from Scary Movie just turn up in this.
Yeah.
All the meta. It's like a meta multiverse just collapsing in on itself. I love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maverick's just saying that the voice actor from Gordon Freeman in Half-Life died today.
Oh goodness me! Yeah, F's in the chat, lads.
We will drop an F in there.
Gordon Freeman didn't have a voice actor.
Hang on. Wait a second. Hold on. Ooh, hold your F's, lads.
You've just been diddled. You've been completely diddled. The whole point of Gordon Freeman is just silent.
I've been duped. Oh, kick.
Well, it's a good thing. I
Maverick.
misread it. Well, obviously shows how much I know about that. But also, I initially misread it as Morgan Freeman,
That would have been worse.
which was why I was frantically checking because I was like, "What the? Oh, wait a minute, Gordon Freeman? Oh, he died. No, he doesn't have a voice. Thanks, Haryan."
Yeah. That's the whole point. It popularized the silent protagonist franchise. First-person shooters.
How dare you?
Fair enough.
Nice.
Well done. Well done.
Reeled in, and dunked on.
You
Gosh
got
darn
me.
it.
Oh, gee, I hope nobody clips this.
Gosh darn it.
Absolutely
Ugh.
diddled.
All right. No clips. Okay. I would love to ask you about the opening scene. We get an opening scare, of course. Oh, actually, no. Before we get into that, could Haryan, would you like to give us the fag packet description of the
Excuse
film?
me. It's not June yet. Yes, the 3-minute summary.
Actually, 3 minutes. Okay, I'm timing you.
Okay, it's Among Us in a school. There you go. Done.
Damn.
But it had interesting stuff as well. You know, that it's the teachers that get caught first, and the teachers are then the ones slowly getting changed, body snatched, or whatever. Elijah Wood, can't remember the kid's name in the film. Casey, that was it. And it even has cool bits at the beginning where it's like, oh, this is the character Casey, and like really hard to read writing. Luckily, they say the name not long after. But he finds a little octopus dead thing in the fields, and then they're like, oh, this might be a new species. Turns out it's a thing taking over everyone. And I can see what you mean by it's meta, because there's a really nerdy girl who's a goth who pretends to be a lesbian to not like people. It's weird. He's read Robert Heinlein, so she must be based. But that's where all the meta stuff comes in, because it's like, oh, maybe fiction is actually just non-fiction, but through some like filters. So she's like, oh, well, there must be a mother species. We get that. We get them all. That works in theory, which turns out to be true.
That's, that kind of feels like an interesting place to start to kind of dig in.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that scene. Where are we? Forgive me a second. So many screen caps. Got it. I could have gone for the closer one where we see more of their faces, but frankly, I love how 90s this library is, and I just want us to soak up the 90s vibes.
See, this one I'm worried about. I think I'm going to give it a slightly lower score than you're expecting, because I do not get 90s nostalgia in the same way.
It's an interesting bit though, this scene. Like, this is what we're talking about. Obviously, Scream has deconstructed slashers. This one, it kind of goes out of its way to say that it is not an update of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I've always kind of classified it as Invasion of the Body Snatchers. As like the latest remake before the weird one with Nicole Kidman and Daniel. Gosh, who's the latest James Bond? Help me out, guys.
Craig.
Thank you. Yes, skip it. Do not watch that one. Boring.
I've watched any of these.
Yeah, I just.
I'll be the judge of that.
I always treated this as just the latest update of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You know, we'd watched the 1993 one, but this was like the post-Scream version. But interestingly, it kind of goes out of its way to say it is not based on Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's based on, well, The Puppet Masters by Heinlein.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I did like this scene where they were talking about the old, like, oh, maybe it's done through fiction. Maybe, I can't remember what he originally said they were basing it off, but it's like, oh, what if, what if he actually experienced it and just wrote a book about it? And she's like, that wouldn't make sense because he just copied it from Robert Heinlein. But then you could just put the logic even further back and say, well, why wasn't Robert Heinlein in that situation?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Also, did anybody get any serious Scream vibes from this scene again? As they, like in Scream, when they sit down and discuss who they think the killer is and try and work it out. And this is this is Kevin Williamson just all over this scene.
Kind of a parallel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they sort of wove it in at multiple points of them accusing each other credibly, and I quite liked that. They didn't do it just one point. But this idea of you weave what's actually happening. You weave your conspiracy into fiction so that when people repeat it, they look crazy. I thought it's quite an interesting idea, but it doesn't really work in this scenario. I love this film, but I was picking nits in this scene. Thinking like, if you're saying the story has happened because it really happened, then how does that make sense? Like, wouldn't you either know it had happened or the pod people would have taken over and you wouldn't be having this discussion? Do you get me?
Well, I mean, I don't know what happens in Puppet Masters or the other one. Does humans win?
Depends which version you watch. But I'm just thinking, if you have the scenario of, we have the story because it actually happened, then I would just think like,
thank God we won.
The aliens would have, I don't know. I don't see how it works without the aliens having won. Also, surprisingly spicy, this scene, I thought. If you notice.
Spicy?
Oh, very cancelable. Very cancelable. I'll show you.
Oh, sorry, just before you do, this scene, you're talking about like the aliens winning. In this scene, there's a bit of a goof up because I was going through the trivia, the goofs bit, and what's her face? Stokely says to Casey that, was it, I think in Invasion of Body Snatchers or the other film, one of the two, that the aliens win and the humans lose, when in fact in the film the aliens retreat because of the resilience and determination of humans. So she got that wrong.
Yeah, well, the films change every time, but I think that's correct for the actual Jack Finney novel. Yeah, it's like, it's an interesting idea. I just thought logically it might not have really held together if you. I mean, I'm picking nits here. You know, they're simply theorizing. It's kind of fine. I could be more annoyed by the fact that they start calling Stokely Stokes. Like, they give her a nickname even though they're not really friends with her.
Yeah, people do that. Anyway. Which one is Stokely's the emo, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
She's glorious. Easily worth an extra 2 burgers.
Yeah. I mean, all I could think of was her whole character arc is like 2 seconds in Rick and Morty, where Morty gets really confident, and then there's a bit of an emo girl with a hat on, and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could just be confident in myself." Morty just takes her hat off, and then she's like, "There we go." Like, that's a whole arc.
Yeah, we that does happen. There's a little bit of a Actually, someone already mentioned Breakfast Club. Yes. There's some interesting meta. People have already commented on this that. In this, Clea Duvall, who is lesbian in real life, is accused of being a lesbian, and she's like, "No, I'm not." There's weird stuff in there, but like I said, that's not the spicy bit that caught my eye in this. That would
What's
be
the spicy bit? I'm losing it. Tell me what the spicy bit is.
I'll happily do so.
Taken over by aliens.
I think something's taking over our school.
Body Snatchers is a story somebody made up, dingus. It's located in the fiction section of the library.
Yeah, so is Schindler's List.
Oh no.
Disavow. Disavow. Casey.
Oh my. Oh my God. No. Elijah, what are you doing? No wonder you got out of Hollywood.
Wow.
It's weird to think that
That is
within a
indeed.
year he was heading off to be Frodo. Oh, weird from
Oh, it would have been actually, yeah.
yeah.
That's
Or
a
just
good point.
just about a year away, I think. Oh, I mean, he's so baby faced in this; it's kind of adorable.
He looks like 12. He looks like he's about 12 in this film.
You can
Mm.
see why he gets bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a new one, I have to say. When they just 4 guys picked him up and then moved him to the flagpole.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yiz. I'm sorry. I tried.
It came through more than loud enough on my end.
Okay. Are your ears blown out now?
No, they're fine. They're fine. They'll survive.
Needs
But-
more ear rape.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I'm sorry. I saw that and I just thought I've gotta have a bit of fun with that.
Because I heard Schindler's List and I was like, that's a bit weird to bring up. But I didn't realise the whole thing. Because it's a fictional book, to be fair. Isn't
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Careful.
Oh, it's just funny.
Yes.
All right, Susan. I think the number's actually closer to 7 million, Susan.
Oh, don't
There we
make
go.
it worse. Don't make it worse. Yes. So you've got this interesting deconstruction. I thought it's fun. It's interesting that they do sort of limit it to this scene in terms of the deconstruction. Like I thought, I figured it would have been so tempting in the scene where they're testing each other to see who's taken over. I would have thought it would be so tempting for them to directly reference the Thing, for someone to say it's just like the Thing.
Yeah, I don't think you needed more than this scene to go through. You kind of get the idea after it. Like, I don't see how bringing it up. And I think I'd find it really jarring if someone's like, "Man, this is just like Invasion of the Body Snatchers," when they're like pointing guns at each other and sniffing drugs.
Mm.
Just sounds like a Thursday night back in the 90s.
Oh, maybe.
Oh my.
The 90s was a weird time.
Whoa, popcorn power. Wow. I think you pretty much nailed this film, yeah.
You know what?
Dude.
That might be a fun comment, but I mean,
No. He's got a point.
let's maybe talk about what this film is saying. Like,
What is the film saying?
there's an
Disrespect to
element.
authority.
Okay, there's an element to me that seems very progressive.
There's going to be a gay arc, isn't there? There's going to be a gay reading.
No, gay this time. I learned from last week. Actually, I meant to lead in with this. Actually, I do want to apologize about last week's show and about the amount of topless male imagery that I
don't do
used
it.
in it.
Don't do it.
Are you gonna do it again?
I know there are a lot of complaints about simply how many times I showed Harry Shum Jr. topless. I know you wanted more of it. But no, that was the number I had, guys. I will try and find more images of him. I've got him dancing in a jockstrap, so I'll maybe get that one in for you next week.
Oh, wow. Please, no.
Had you in the first half, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, so like
Does
there's
he-
a
I was gonna-
subversive element, and I think there's quite an
Right.
interesting critical element that we might like. And I was wondering which way you folks leaned on it in terms of what the film was saying. Bilbo
don't
does
know.
not want more topless Harry Shum. Oh no. Not popular.
I just want to know if he looks better or worse than Ricardo Milos in the jockstrap.
Well, maybe next week you'll get to find out.
I say I want to know. I don't really care that much. It's just a funny meme.
Okay. Oh, we didn't do the thing, guys. We got a shill.
I did.
We got a shill and spoil.
Yeah, we did start. You got to bite that like button on the thumb.
Oh, you opened up with it. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. First off, sorry, slightly chaotic.
It's a paid shill as well.
Yeah, I know. I meant to say thank you. I flashed it up and then I just got.
Oh no, I saw you flash it up. I'm just saying I didn't forget to shill. That's what I'm saying.
You're an absolute star. And
classic
I should
Chloe
have
flash and forget.
I'm just a. Oh no. I'm just a bit scattered tonight. What can I say, folks?
Awfully scattered.
So yeah, follow TC. We're going full into the spoiler zone for this. So if you have not seen The Faculty, which we've already discussed quite a few key details of, then maybe stop now. But I think you'll enjoy it anyway. I absolutely loved this film. I've rewatched it many a time. Hopefully you guys have all seen it. If you don't want to be spoiled, leave now and you'll be mostly safe. But we'll be going quite deep on this. But for everyone else, I do want to specify, this is YouTube. We are YouTube professionals, and we would love it if you help this channel grow. We have great big ambitions, and so do all the algorithm-friendly stuff. I want you to help this channel spread like some kind of weird alien fish-like parasite throughout the entire YouTube community. Just grab your friends and just vomit this channel into their ear.
I want to see this channel spreading across the internet a lot like the head of your favorite female teacher is crawling across the road.
You've got to take my videos and get your friends and hold a gun to them and make them snort my videos at gunpoint.
Jesus.
To prove
their video. These videos should make your friends tweak.
Brilliant. I think that worked. I think Susan will love that.
I think we'll get away with it.
I can feel the ad revenue coming in right now.
Well, speaking of that, I tell you what, we're on a bit of a roll with this, so I'll give you guys some interesting news now. I mentioned on Twitter, I've been working on quite an epic project. It is the second video that you guys voted for way back when I asked you which topics you wanted covering. It was basically a tie between two videos, the dark homoeroticism of Clive Barker's films and abortion metaphors in horror movies. And I did the Clive Barker video. It was a lot shorter than I thought it would be. And the second one on abortion messaging, both pro and anti in horror movies, has turned out to be an absolute beast. It is over an hour long. It's probably going to be under 1 hour 10, I think, but it's absolutely massive. I've been working hard on it. It is close to being done, but I know it is going to get hit by copyright claims and possibly will not be widely viewed. So I will have a version up for people who have supported me on Subscribestar. And I also have memberships available on YouTube if you do not mind giving Susan a few bucks. That will be available to members, paid supporters early, because I don't have to worry about it getting blocked for you folk. So I'll put out some news about that, so you can do that if you're interested. It will be a substantial video, and you'll probably get it about 2 weeks before everyone else, depending on how well I managed to fight the copyright claims that are going to hit it. And they are absolutely going to hit this this video.
Fez is asking if that was a very good shill. You've caught the attention of Fez, who's asking if you were the source of the leak. Gee, I wonder what leak that could be.
Goodness, no. Obviously, disavow and I denial knowledge, but it's so weird. I started working on this about a month ago. Filmed it in 2 batches, and I've just been editing it and getting my research done. And then all this stuff with the Supreme Court happened. It's weirdly timely, but I'm probably not going to Probably not going to be able to ride the relevance train on this one unless the copyright claims are particularly minor. Anyway, we have done a whole load of shilling, so I won't stress it any longer. We should probably get back to the faculty.
Yeah, it's
Although
just
I've
like half an
forgotten where
hour in,
we
isn't
were.
it?
I know. I told you, very scattered tonight.
Should we head back to the beginning?
Yeah.
Sure, we can't just do your favourite bits first. We've got to lead up to them.
Okay. Let's go.
Right. Football coach. He sees someone weird and then it cuts. That's the opening. Yeah, I thought it was a good
It's a
opening
teaser.
scene.
It's a little bit of a teaser, you know.
It is. He clearly absolutely hates being a coach.
He hates it, but Robert Patrick's having the time of his life.
Yeah. And then all the teachers are told, "Oh, we're making budget cuts. Rest in peppers. Go home." Then is it the headmistress who gets chased by him?
Yes, I believe she is.
Or the principal, whatever you Americans say.
Before we move on, can we discuss that scene in the teacher's lounge, which I sort of neglected to take a screen cap for because it's kind of interesting. So there's a fun joke about the Drama Society reusing the set from Our Town.
For Guys and Dolls.
No, Our Town. So that is for Guys and Dolls. Yes. Now that is a very sneaky theatre joke because Thornton Wilder's Our Town is a blank stage production. You have no set. So.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That was a sneaky little joke for the.
That's a good joke.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because I didn't know they didn't have a voice actor for the Half-Life protagonist either. There's a lot of things I don't know. But you could
covered from that.
I just assumed that there was a stage. There we go. I've been duped again.
Oh dear. So in that scene, and this is going to be quite interesting, related to ultimately the message we take from this film. You remember the theatre group are like, "Can we have money?" And they're like, "No, there's no money." And the drunk history teacher, played by Daniel van Bargen, bit of a tragic character, actually, that actor, unfortunately. You may know him from Lord of Illusions. I know there's a few people in the chat who remember that. He asks about money for a trip, and he's told no.
Yeah.
And he rebukes, like, "Oh, I bet the football team get what they want, anything they want." And the head teacher says, "Yeah, because almost the whole town is in the sports stadium every Friday night, right?" So, are we meant to think that's incorrect?
Are we? Because they kind of allude because they mention that the school is a football school.
Yeah. What I'm trying to take from here is like, is she wrong? I mean, how can I say the football is popular? The football is what the people want. Why should it not get the money?
Because it doesn't help with education. I don't know. Because the nerds don't complain enough, I guess.
Well, maybe the nerds just need to play some more football.
I think there's an interesting reading in that about the faculty think they know better and want to mold. They don't like things that are popular. They are annoyed that the town turn out for football. They want to fund their things.
Nah, I just saw it as they're hacked off that they're not getting the resource that they need.
This is just school politics in every school, as far as I know. Like these things always came up at PTA meetings, and
What is this?
Tell me about.
Yeah, I didn't get vibes that they were trying to like shape or mold the children. It was
a disdain for people doing what they want.
I suppose if you wanted to see it, then yeah, you can. But I just saw it as a teacher trying to do his job, and thinking, oh, if I take these kids on a trip, it'll be good for their education. It'll be good to get them outside the four walls of the school, and then being told no. It's like, well, come on, man. Like, I'm trying to do my job here, but I need you to help me. But instead, you're ploughing all this money into the football team. It's like, come on, Gibbs, just a little Gibbs.
Yeah, totally. I've got to overanalyze. I've got to justify these streams.
Well, you're to be fair, your over analysis. But to be fair, your over analysis counteracts my lack of analysis. So
that's fine. I suppose what the real question that we should be asking is, how effective was this early scare?
I remember when I first watched it, yeah, it was very effective. I mean, because the only thing I remembered Robert Patrick in before seeing this was obviously Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he's quite a menacing character in that, and yeah, just his general approach to the head teacher at the beginning, like, oh my, you look very pretty this evening. It's like, he says it in such a creepy way, and she sort of dismisses him a little bit, like, oh, come on, are you drunk? And he's just like, I need a pencil.
I like how she kind of handles his BS, and she's immediately intimidated. She's like, she holds the line and warns him. Like, she's quite strong.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Twitter didn't exist back then, so you can furiously tweet.
Yeah, it's a nice build up until you get this very creative effect. Just How about you, Haryan?
Yes. Well, yeah, I like this introduction. Really sets the tone well, I think, and especially because it's a bit of scare, but there's comedy in it as well with the older teacher. She's like trying to help, not actually helping that much. And I'm like, is she actually already caught? And she helps her through. I'm like, oh no, she isn't. And then she just gets stabbed by the scissors. And I'm like, oh, why did she do that? She's like, I've always wanted to do that. I'm like, oh, neat.
Yeah,
that's why. I'm like, well, S is about to go down. So they never replace their teacher, do they? They never take her over with the Snatchers.
Yeah, they do.
Oh no, they do. They do.
Do they?
Yeah, she does come back, but
no.
they clearly heal very quickly when they're taken over.
Talking about the healing quickly, right? I did have a little issue with that. So, in this scene, in the opening scenes, the head teacher, Drake, I think her name is, or is it Drake?
It is Drake.
She slashes Robert Patrick's, or the coach's, face with her keys, and the scar from her doing that is on his face for quite a while in the movie. But all of the other characters, their injuries are healed by the next scene, the next time you see them. So there's a little inconsistency. I mean, because obviously, he had the scratch, and he had that for ages. But as you can see there, she's got a pencil through her hand. Obviously, the head teacher then gets shanked multiple times by the old lady. You got but it just sort of didn't like jar me, but it was just something I noticed. Like, they're supposed to have rapid healing, but
and apparently you can be stabbed multiple times and then still be well enough to be infected. It's an interesting one. So this is something I wanted to highlight. It's not a huge criticism.
No.
But if we're talking about how this is not Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you can definitely notice that the rules around what happens when you're taken over is far less clear. Okay. I'm just seeing we've got an early score in from Years. That is respectable. 9 out of 11 burgers. Very nice. Sorry you can't manage the whole stream. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the rewatch and enjoy your stream with Paleoalcoholism, who is going to be on this eventually. We have found a movie that he is okay with.
Neat.
How'd you get someone who hates horror movies on a horror channel? Well, you have to
show
find
them
the right
least
movie.
scary one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it was just a thing I noticed. It only really bothered me a small amount on this reading, but just noticing that slight lack of clarity over what the rules are when you're infected. It doesn't really cause too many problems, to be honest, but it's a sharp contrast to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, definitely. There's nothing that jumps out at me as an issue with kind of the consistency of the healing and the how they're taken over. One thing that did jump out at me is that when one of the teachers does get raped by the little fish, like her ear starts bleeding quite badly, but then they do it on a mouse later, and the mouse just is completely fine until they obviously kill it. So that was the only thing I was a bit confused on, but I mean, it's just make the mouse bleed a little.
I blame Robert Rodriguez. I think there are a few signs of just a slight lack of attention and a few what I would call cheats in the movie. We'll get to them that I think are Robert Rodriguez possibly just wanted to get the scare in and wasn't as bothered.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a terrible problem, but I did notice.
Yeah.
There was nothing really that took me out of this film, but it was just one of those things that I just noticed and just thought, oh, I bet I'll mention that on stream. But I mean, in terms of like how it affected my viewing of the film, not at all.
Oh, something else I absolutely have to mention: the teacher who did the stabbing. Bonus points for anyone who recognizes her.
I'm not going to get any bonus points.
I don't know women.
Don't worry, it's Piper Laurie. Piper Laurie from who was the mother in Carrie.
Oh,
I know,
wow.
I know. Looking very different,
I can
1976. This is 22 years on, so do not worry.
Sorry, I completely misheard that second name and just had to laugh up to myself because I heard Piper. What was the name you said? Piper
Laurie.
Yeah, it sounds like Piper Perry. Now, for those of you who don't know, Piper Perry is the girl in the meme on the white couch with the 5 black
Oh, disavow.
And I got very confused. I was like, that's her? No way. Wait, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they were really rough on her. What can I say?
Oh, God.
Terrible mother.
That's why I started laughing a bit there.
Oh, shocking.
So you go. You got reminded of an excellent meme.
It is a quality meme, if highly disavowable.
Absolutely. But yeah, after this first scare scene, we then get introduced to all the kids, and this is where I'm just like, wow, I hate everyone apart from Casey.
It's a pretty rough school. It's pretty rough there.
Yeah, it is. Like half the people are beating each other up. Stokely's just rude. She like walked into someone and is like, oh, don't you walk? And he goes, you walked into me.
Yeah, this is literally every 90s depiction of high school.
High school, yeah. And yeah, Casey's getting his nads thrown into the flagpole.
That was brilliant.
It is pretty brutal. I mean, I kind of feel like what's happening here is a depiction of school as absolute wild, free, kind of savage, and the contrast would be that when you're taken over, it would be more ordered.
Yeah.
That conflict is there.
Yeah, it's really different how that 2000s version of Carrie portrayed high school, where it's just, in this one, it's like everyone's beating each other up. In the 2000s, it was like everyone's getting off with each other. It's like these things were happening, like all these things are happening at school at these times. Like, why are we only focusing on nerds getting beat up here and all the relationship stuff in the 2000s? I don't know. It's fine. It's a 90s school. It's kind of what you expect in these films, but
yeah, it is a lot rougher than usual. It's really quite exaggerated. I think because they want to sort of maybe make it a little more persuasive that, you know, you can see the benefit if everyone's taken
Yeah.
over.
I felt like this school kind of had like Dangerous Minds vibes, you know, the Michelle Pfeiffer movie.
Well, I do.
Yeah, well,
Haryan, you like the old Coolio did the song for it, you know.
he did, yeah. It was Gangster's
Back in the
Paradise.
day.
If you know Gangster's Paradise by Coolio and LV, then that was the song for the film Dangerous Minds.
Do not worry, Harry. Don't worry.
I know Amish Paradise.
Okay, Weird Al.
Nice. Yeah, Needle and Fur's with me on this one, absolutely. It would have been a lot starker if this was more like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I mean, think back to when we watched the 1993 Body Snatchers. There was the same like rebellious Gen X kids standing up to the man. But when you were cloned, you were obviously a lot more unemotional. Whereas in this one, you're taken over. You do not stop being emotional. You know, you explicitly have at the start the two infected characters doing some extreme act of violence and then just saying, I always wanted to do that.
I just loved how all the women seem to get horny.
It does happen. It's a little problematic at points. We also have our one bright star here, Mary Beth. I love her.
She's all right.
No?
She was all right.
She was too friendly for that school.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve her. She's too precious. She's too precious.
But I mean, talking about the horniness of the women when they got turned out, when they got changed, I did have a thought process behind that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like they did that with the women, sort of hypersexualize them to make them more appealing to like the guys if they were looking to like infect the guys.
I think so.
Yeah. Because I mean, also, with certain characters, it's like really noticeable, like Jean Grey's character.
Yes.
You know, she's really timid and meek, and then when she gets infected, like, my God, it is like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. But then with characters like Delilah, yeah, it wasn't really that noticeable because I think she was already quite confident in herself anyway.
And she was trying to keep it under wraps, you know.
Yeah.
She didn't want to give it away because she was deep within the sort of dissident group until her cover was blown.
She was a fed, basically.
Yeah. It's really kind of interesting watching this from 1998 that you've got one main character, Zeke, who's just openly a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like, and he's trying to give teachers condoms. It's like,
oh my God, do you know what?
Odd.
It has been bugging me, right? All since I last watched this film. I was looking at the nurse and I was thinking, I really recognize her. It's only bloody Salma Hayek.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, I've got her alongside your boy John Stewart there. My theory, I think they only had her for one day.
You reckon?
Yeah, totally. Like, she's got this scene where she doesn't do much. She's got the scene where she's attacked and she's briefly seen doing an ear exam. I think they shot all her scenes in one single day.
Interesting.
That is my theory. Like, it's great seeing her. She doesn't have much to do in this, but they did get her in. Possibly Robert Rodriguez, you know, he's just worked with her on From Dusk Till Dawn.
Right.
You know, he wants to get her in again.
It's just really impressive because she looks so different.
Oh, totally. Like, she was 2 years she did the very sexy role in From Dusk Till Dawn, and then she was going to be in Dogma with a certain scene that's far less repressed than she's dressed here.
Oh yeah, Needle and Fur. Yeah, quite right. We can't forget Usher as well.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't a rapper, he's a singer.
Yeah, he's pretty good in this.
Yeah,
gotta say.
Not bad.
Yeah,
it's kind of like less is more within though. I wouldn't have liked
totally.
him to have been one of the main characters.
Totally. Yeah. So as part of this sort of very late 90s thing, it's very noticeable that basically your your protagonists, your hero protagonists, they are all the outcasts. You know, they're the very sort of ragged band of outsiders. Like I always think of that as like such a 90s thing.
Yeah, it's quite
Well, they're either
quite
from the
cliche.
top of they're either top of hierarchies or bottom of them. So you got, you know, the drug dealer and Delilah. They're both, you know, drug dealer gets all the business everyone knows, and Delilah, she seemed to be basically the popular girl. And then you've got, you know, Stokely, the emo girl, who just doesn't have friends. You've got the new girl, doesn't have friends, obviously. And then you got Elijah Casey, who's just a nerd. I mean, the whole idea is that they're an odd bunch, but it makes the film good.
But it is also the 90s thing of like the outsider is the one you're meant to identify with. I mean, yes, exactly as you say, Delilah is super popular. Her but her status is somewhat threatened by her boyfriend wanting to quit being the star quarterback.
Oh yeah.
So it's complicated a little bit.
Absolutely.
So yes, they've discovered the creature. We've sort of gone through this. We get the sense of the school and how kind of stultifyingly grinding it is, you know. And it's shaken up when we get the interesting discovery in one of a few rather I mean, I do find it so weird that Jon Stewart is in this. He's absolutely great. It's very. What are you doing here?
Yeah, that was the reaction I had. I was like,
bonus Usher.
What are you doing?
I don't know who Jon Stewart is, I'll be honest. I know he's a talk show host. Is it that same Jon Stewart?
It's the same.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not that weirded out because obviously we've got James Corden as a late night TV show talk show host. So actors.
We have indeed, but I'm going to have to spoil it for you guys. We are not doing James Corden movies. We will not do his horror comedy lesbian vampire killers. Sorry, folks. Schedule's too packed. Cannot fit it in. Sorry about that.
He unironically made a really good Christmas comedy called The Wrong Mans. Genuinely, I was like, oh, James Corden, he's funny. I'll look for him everywhere else. And then everything else I've ever seen him in or ever seen him do, I'm like, God, I want to kill myself. I don't know what happened to him. But there you go. Small shill for British comedy.
I've just been dropped some very disturbing information. I haven't seen House 2. I watched the first House. I think it's House 2, the second story. Genius title. But I didn't watch it. I was very confused by the first one. I have not delved deep into that series, but thank you for that rather unexpected bit of trivia, John. So we get this interesting scene where you dropped a little bit of science information about what these creatures are. Also an interesting chance for Zeke to prove that he actually has quite a few smarts going on. And we get some CGI.
It's a bit iffy, I'll be honest.
It is a bit iffy, but again, I'm sort of taken back to when I first watched this film, and obviously we're talking 1998, and I thought it was quite impressive. Like as at the time watching it, now with the CGI sort of quality nowadays, you can really sort of see the flaws in it. But I just remember this scene because of the way that the claws sort of retract the lips back in preparation of biting his finger, and I just remember being really freaked out by that. Just like, oh, that's really, really clever.
It is very creative. I like it. And just the design of it is lovely as well. Like the tendrils it has, they look like sort of raw nerves to me.
Yeah.
But it also fits this idea of these things going out and sort of puppeting you. You know, they go out their way to say this is like a puppet master. And so this thing having these long tendrils that almost look like puppet strings. Oh, good design. There's a lot going on there. It's So we get away with the CGI. I think there's one or two shots that stand out to me as being very noticeably bad CGI. I'm thinking of once Jon Stewart loses his fingers, the shot of the fingers sort of moving across the floor. It's a bit bad.
That's pretty bad. I think the worst one for me was the big spoilers when Mary Beth turns into a big spastic monster. The way it like moves across the floor, I'm just like,
oh, disavow on my family-friendly stream. Hang on, I've got a shot of it. Here we go. Yeah, the tentacle is a bit. Yeah.
It's not great, but it's
in
like,
fairness,
you know,
it's 1998. We are entering what we have called on this channel the CGI danger zone. We'll be in that for a good long while, guys. Obviously, exceptions like the Lord of the Rings apply, but generally, Hollywood got a brand new toy and was really keen to use it, and a lot of times it sadly doesn't hold up, unfortunately. Well, yes, they do the investigation, and then you have this lovely thing of seeing these infections spread around the school. You know, this is a lot of the meat of the film, is the infection spreading, the paranoia increasing, and wondering who you can trust. And this is a scene that sort of really kicks it off, I'd say.
Yep.
Yeah, but the cupboard hiding scene, when was that?
Yeah, Haryan, would you like to take us through this scene quickly?
Yeah, because what are they looking around? They're just looking around for. What are they even looking around for? I can't remember at this point.
They're just looking for anything because both Delilah and Casey work on the school newspaper, and so they go into the faculty room just to look for some stuff that they can use to write. Because I remember one bit when Casey pulls out the little alcohol thing that the teacher has, and she's like, "Yeah, I wrote an article about that last year. Nobody cared." So everyone knows an alcoholic.
It's so delightfully cynical.
Yeah.
It's a bit random that they stumble across it, but they were going to stumble across it sooner or later, so I'm kind of fine with it.
Yes, and also the bit that got me was when they went into the cupboard, they had like a shot of them going in, then a shot from outside as they're closing it, going over to the door where the two compromised teachers came in, and then it cut back to them like still closing it, and I kind of took that as a film telling me that they'd been spotted, but then they weren't, so I just thought it was a bit of a weird cut.
They also made a ridiculous amount of noise going in there as well, and you know, these aren't exactly soundproof walls that they've got.
I was going to say, this scene is a bit weird, and this is some sloppiness that call me horrible. I would probably attribute more to the director. Like, the writer's not going to be on set for this.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit of sloppiness. I think Robert Rodriguez would tend to be like, "Oh, I'll make them loud so that you'll feel they're more at risk," but then he won't actually make them pay the cost of having been loud.
Yeah, not only that as well, just to be a bit nitpicky again, but the door that they're coming in through is glass at the top. Now I know it's not like clear glass, but you would definitely see shapes or make out shapes or passing, like going past that glass. You know, do you know what I mean? It's like it just I can buy the added element of danger. Oh, were they seen? Were they not?
There's the scene logic is a bit off. The fact that you know they hide in there. There's they're making a load of noise. You think they'd have been caught. Then they discover a body, and you know that doesn't.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why was the body stashed in there?
We've missed that scene out altogether with Stan, haven't we?
We did. We did a bit.
Walking in,
Yeah, that's one of the early signs of things spreading out. is a teacher who's been infected. You get this sort of interesting Shining-like scene of her approaching Stan in the showers.
Yeah. The practical effects on that scene were brilliant.
Oh yes.
Yeah, when he puts his hand into her hair and like pull.
Oh yeah.
into the scalp.
Oh god, yeah. I nearly
Oh, and
genuinely.
then he throws it on the floor. It's just like slap.
The film's sick sense of humor is much appreciated at times. That was impressively nasty, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get to witness this. I really quite like this effect. It's quite understated what they're doing when they're sicking up a parasite. But it's nicely disturbing as well. It's well judged. And just you get a shot from Salma Hayek's point of view, looking up at Piper Laurie, and she's just looking so pitilessly at it. It's really chilling.
Yeah. I like the effects. Like this was good usage of CGI. I mean, the eyes look like they're CGI as well. That they've whitened out the eyes. Like, so that's not like doesn't look like they've used any what's it called? Contacts.
No, I think they just CGI'd his eyes out.
Yeah, just CGI to me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's effective.
It's very impressive. There's a bit later on as well, actually, when he's going down out of camera shot and he's got his mouth open. That grim.
But you get into it. So again, very relevant to the reading of the film. This really prompts Delilah and Casey to seek action, and they kind of learn that actually the authorities aren't going to help us. We should probably expect, the school is meant to be the authority looking after them, and then they hope the police will do it. They hope their parents will do it, and darn it! I'm going to get that up again just so you can appreciate, guys. Well done, Bilbo. Yes. Maybe when we get to June, maybe I'll have some special ones. Okay. So, I mean, this is kind of a standard thing in that your protagonist does need to be the one who takes the action themselves.
Oh, look! Yeah. It's the cameraman from Scream 2.
I'm going to check that before I confirm.
Are you just saying that because he's black?
I'm just saying.
Wait, Dwayne Martin. I'm checking this. It is. Dwayne Martin. Let me confirm he was actually. Yeah, Joel the cameraman.
There you go.
Gosh darn. That was a risky one.
I took a gamble on that one. I took a gamble.
Yeah.
There's our Scream reference.
I love how he plays it so chill here. For a Scream reference, how about Elijah Wood nailing Robert Patrick with was it an umbrella or a broom when he comes out?
Yeah, I got that
Just
vibe.
like Sydney getting Billy right at the end of Scream. Oh, lovely stuff.
What about Neve Campbell and Jennifer Love Hewitt full frontal nudity videotapes?
Yes, it was a nicely timed reference. Yeah.
But yeah, the old that bit when they come bursting out of the closet, I instantly thought of Sydney doing that to Billy.
You're getting with this as the kids try with their parents, try with their teachers, and then with the police. Just the authorities aren't going to help with them. And if you're taking one reading of film, you are seeing this thing of you can't trust the institutions. The institutions are going to try and mold you. They are going to try and get power over you. And it feels like it's just that little bit more than the standard thing where you want the protagonist to be truly active in the story. And I found that in this case, I found it really quite chilling. That just so instantly, the police have been captured and you just know from there, okay, this one policeman's been captured and now it's going to spread to the cops. You don't know how soon, but the next time you see the police,
Well,
they are
they're
blocking roads.
compromised. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And the implied threat from Principal Drake to Casey's mother of, we can just have a word about it. And he's just like, nope.
I'll go to therapy.
That really worked for me.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can entirely buy the reading. I can understand it. I can understand it. I guess I just I guess I just looked at it too simplistically, and maybe it's just meant to be a simple thing. But I'm just thinking, like, because it's already a far-fetched story in the first place. Like, oh, I just saw one of our teachers throw up an alien into Salma Hayek. Already the cops are going to be like, really? Oh, there's a dead body in the closet as well. And then, of course, you get, and that's revealed to be a resuscitation Annie doll, which, of course, we know as the audience that was obviously placed there after the fact.
Yeah.
But the police are going to be like, well, okay, you're in a room that you shouldn't be in. You're concocting this cock and ball story, and then we get the bit where he goes into the office and then you hear that thud. Obviously, that's hothead teacher doing the dirty, and then he comes out, and then obviously changed, and at that point they'll be like, yeah, okay, well, if we couldn't trust the police, or if we couldn't rely on the police before, we definitely can't rely on them now.
And they missed out the most important thing. They're journalists. You can't trust them.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Oh my god. Of course. Yeah. Elijah Wood playing a journo. Where have I seen that before?
Oh, disgraceful. Wait, did he?
He played a journo in Green Street.
Oh gosh, yes, he
I
did.
thought you were going to say Lord of the Rings.
Green Street is such a weird movie, but I had a good time. I was just confused throughout the whole thing. Gosh.
I got it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. Like do a grand reading the way I am. Like, there's a very simple, like, I think straightforward message that you can get, which is the threat from this is a threat over you being able to be you and be yourself. It's everyone in here, in a very real sense, is just fighting for autonomy, which is what makes the story so vital, I think, to be honest. It's something you can really identify with, especially if you see this as a teenager, It does lead us on to a scene that I think is thoroughly in the kind of funny but a very dirty cheat moment in the film.
Okay.
So this scene obviously has one of the best scares in the movie, which is Elijah Wood realizing that his parents know where his born is.
Yeah.
No more flogging the bishop. No more flogging the bishop had me in stitches. I've never heard that euphemism before.
You've never heard that before?
I've never heard that one. No.
No way.
Yeah. It's just it'd be so weird if my dad said that to me. I'd be like, don't say that.
Oh! Speaking of dads, can we acknowledge that bloody Shooter McGavin is in this film? Christopher McDonald.
Who?
You've not seen Happy Gilmore?
No.
Oh,
no, I've not seen
God.
it. What do I know
him
from?
Hey, piece of shit like you for breakfast, and then Happy Gilmore says, you piece of shit for breakfast? No.
Great.
When I saw him in oh god, creased up when I saw him in. Again, another fantastic casting for this film.
Well, the casting is brilliant on this.
I can only see Shooter McGavin whenever I see Christopher McDonald nowadays.
A classic. That would be the classic one, but yeah, just like that cringy, like, oh gosh, like his mum knows where his born is.
Oh yeah.
she grasses him up and is like, maybe the dad was going to leave it, so he's got a specialist literature for when he makes the bold man cry, but no, the mum grassed him up. But yes, the actual sort of cheat on this, Casey looks to get out the window. I don't know exactly. Maybe he'd be going to find Delilah, I guess. But this is an
Check
absolute
out the
cheat.
school again. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a cheat. I was
because
really annoyed.
it's a total cheat.
Yeah, because he falls down into the bush, and then they start approaching him, and they're about to grab him, and then he runs into his dad, and his dad's like, "What are you doing out here?" And he's like, "They're here," and he turns around, and there's nothing there, and it's like, "Oh, go away, whatever."
Yes, Robert Rodriguez, you went for a cheap shot. Gosh darn it, you went for a cheap shot. Classic horror. The threat is there, and then it's vanished.
I'll just sort of challenge that just momentarily.
Oh, go for it.
So obviously, yeah, in a blink of an eye, they're gone.
Yes.
But the scene ends with that. You can only assume it's the mother closing the window, but she closes it in quite a strange way, like an almost robotic way, which kind of makes you think: did they sneak into the house? Did they change her? Is Elijah Wood and the dad now, infected later on in the film? Like, because you can't really trust any of the main characters up until the point where they of course do the test. So it's entirely possible that they got to the mother.
Yeah, it is good at building up that suspicion, but the thing of they just vanishes.
Oh no, of course, yeah.
Cheaty.
Yeah.
But so the paranoia gets up. He has to go back to school.
Fez. Sorry, Fez. He can't flog the bishop, so he seeks Delilah. I think there may be a message there.
That's a big thing.
I think we've made sense of it. He's quite Sigma, like that. They do, they plant the seeds of the attraction quite early on. I notice.
Well, yeah. Well, he calls her a grade A bitch, and she's like, "Are you coming on to me?" And I'm like, "Well, then the '90s was a different breed, dude."
And he sniffs her in the closet, and then she's like, "Oh,
yeah."
Gives him the old eyebrow waggle. She's into it. Very Sigma.
Also, the name Delilah somewhat telling. Why?
Well, Delilah would be someone who brings down strong men, presumably. Why? So she's with Stan and... But
Delilah?
I don't know. Yeah, Samson and Delilah.
Why?
Well,
why?
It would be she's a temptation who ultimately leads you to weakness. I don't know. I mean, I tell you, if we're talking about significant names, here is the most significant name, Dr. Edward Furlong. Name of the actor in Terminator 2.
Yes. Eddie.
Oh, gosh. TCG. I just got your Delilah joke. I'm not with it tonight, am I? I've got Maverick dunking on me, and then I just completely missed your perfectly good Tom Jones joke. Oh, dear.
Thank you.
Okay, I get it now. Sorry, we're slow.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all
yeah,
right.
Sometimes we do miss these Tom Jones jokes. It's not unusual. But back to the film. Yeah, I absolutely love this scene. This is our corralling of all our disparate group into one room where they're really put to the test. They're forced to make the decision. And would you like to describe the scene, TCG?
Yeah. So they go. So I'm trying to think what sort of happens. So they go back to the school, don't they? Because they want to go and check out the creature that Casey found.
Yeah. Sensible.
Sensible. Yep. It makes perfect sense. And to obviously go and see Mr. Furlong to see whether he found out any more from the university, because he says that's where he's going to send it off to. And excuse me, in the next room you've got Zeke and Mary Beth, because Zeke is doing some shopping and is using Mary Beth as a sort of like an excuse to be in there. Oh, if we get caught, we'll just say that we were copping off in here. Which, again, makes sense. Fair enough. And then, they overhear Casey and Delilah talking. So they go in there, like play a sort of like a half-assed prank on them, and they sort of explain, we think aliens are trying to take over the school, and they're like, nah, shut up, mate. And then Furlong comes in. He's like, what you doing here? Oh, where's the bug? Oh, I've taken it to the university. And then it goes, a bit of dialogue happens, and then he mentions about the aliens, the alien conspiracy or alien theory, and then it just sort of changes and it goes a bit chaotic. So he's like, "Nah, can't let you leave." Whatnot. He grabs Casey by the throat. Zeke comes along and chops off his fingers, and then all of the little technical things start flowing about. Bit of
Before
throwing
we
about.
go further, I've got to ask: did you notice the pop song that played with Zeke and Mary Beth in the supply closet?
Oh God, no! It escapes me. I was going to ask if you guys spotted the foreshadowing, though. In this
No.
scene. Okay.
Oh no! Give us the foreshadowing.
So in the opening scene where this is before like all of the teachers have been changed over. You see, when you get introduced to them all, Furlong looks at the old woman, I think, and he says something like, because something frustrates him. He's just like, "Oh, just stick a pen in my eye," or something like that.
Mm.
And then obviously later on in this very scene,
And he sticks a pen in his eye. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So the pop song that played in the closet is classic 90s. It was Garbage, Medication, which I'm a bit of a fan of. I like to hear Garbage getting more play, and I really liked it when one of their songs turned up in Fear Street. They also very memorably had I'm Only Happy When It Rains playing during an episode of The X-Files.
Oh.
Just good stuff. Very good stuff. We get a mix of CGI in the scene, like the fingers being chopped off, I think looks amazing, and then the tendrils springing from the hand looks really good.
It's the best CGI in the film.
Yeah,
the fingers going sort of traveling across the floor is a bit unfortunate. Unfortunately,
yeah. Oh God, yeah, that was awful.
It was very bad. I mean,
They
it's 1998. What can you do?
But again, it is consistent though, because again, later on in the film, when you see Jean Grey's head when she's decapitated after the car accident,
oh God,
her head's finds the body in what I can only describe as some sort of comical scene. Like
reminds me of the Thing.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like the old scenes, like the comedy shows, like the old cartoons back in the day. If a character had their head chopped off, and they're like, "Oh, where's my head?" and it's like, "Oh, he did like reaching the floor trying to grab it. I'm over here."
It's a bit tricky to get the balance on that one. Like,
yeah,
I think they wanted to let the tension off a bit.
I was very impressed though by the practical effects. For me, is still a winner. I mean, that's.
We'll get to the best practical effect at the end. Like, I think that is where they brought Stan Winston in, but we'll get to that.
Decap Famke Janssen still would.
There's a joke about getting head, but this is a family-friendly stream, and we will not make that joke. However, I reckon Susan's going to be happy with this screen cap.
Yeah, that'll be fine. It's just milk.
Got milk.
Exactly.
You're going to tell me Susan's also anti-calcium?
Well, remember, she really didn't like that fire safety image we had when the chap had fire retardant gel all over his face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had some struggles with that one. Anyway, this is great. What I like about this is just that it's a great excuse to get everyone together and really give them a sort of not quite inciting incident, but it's that change. Oh no, disavow, Fez, disavow. How could you? It's that moment, get everyone together and you really force a decision on them. You've really got to push them into action. They're doing that make or break moment where Jon Stewart here changes the game, and instead of denying, just really, really forces it, and they have to fight. And then it's like, okay, there is no going back at this point. And I thought this was kind of neat storytelling to just absolutely rocket everyone along, because they basically leg it out from that. They're forced into a group, and then they've got all the paranoia, and it leads us very quickly into an excellent scene, as we have mentioned, referencing The Thing quite extensively. And this is one of those real set pieces. Although I did know prior to this, I was somewhat disturbed by how casually Zeke just kills his pet mouse.
Science.
Well, do you reckon it was a lab rat, quite literally, given he's got a lab?
I guess so, but Zeke's a bit of a cold guy, you know. The morality of the faculty is a complex one.
Yeah.
What can I say?
I do like as well how when they go into the lab and Mary Beth like looks at the caffeine pills, she's like, "Oh, you do all this for caffeine pills?" It's like you didn't see that and covers it, as if like the least illegal part of this room needs to be covered when he's got like whatever drugs he makes in pens.
Right, coffee.
Yeah. So it's no, it's an interesting bit. Because what's that reasoning for him having a massive lab? Just his mum just never goes home, basically.
Yeah, his parents are like in Europe or wherever. He doesn't even know, does he?
Yeah, like constantly.
That is an interesting question. Like, I think it is there to. I think the lab equipment is there to effectively lend a bit of visual credibility to him being a mega brain. You know, we've already had him demonstrate some deep knowledge when he was able to use some fairly specific vocabulary in the first scene when they're examining the creature. But let's be honest here. What he gives people a powder, not a tablet. So really, he does just need a pestle and mortar to grind everything up. I don't think there's any way he uses this equipment to make his stuff.
I thought it did, because I thought you had like a little montage of chemicals going everywhere. But I guess that's just while they're dissecting the mouse and all that.
Yeah, I just struggle for it to make sense.
Well, it can end up making powder after all that. So, you know, everyone's seen Breaking Bad. Crystal meth has all the liquids that eventually turn into a crystal. So it'll just be like that.
Yeah, it's a. I'm not sure it totally hangs together if we've got like visual evidence of super science processes, and then also a reveal of basically the stuff is crushed up caffeine pills. You know, it's a little wobble. It's a little wobble there. I almost think it was. I feel like I'm just attacking Robert Rodriguez constantly, more than I intend to, but I almost feel like he just wanted the set sort of dressed up a bit to look more sciencey.
Yeah, to give you more visual. But no, like Harry and I think, you know, there is a possibility he could probably make the powder stuff through a process which
through
might
chemistry.
Which would involve certain chemistry type operations.
Maybe he uses it for something else. Who knows?
Maybe he uses it for his coffee. Maybe it's just a fancy coffee machine.
I think it's fair to assume that he makes it for drugs.
Because that's the thing, like, we don't know, because it could be other like narcotics that he's making, other drugs that he's making.
Yeah.
Like the pens might not be made with the tools you're seeing in the background. He might just be making some blue. You know?
Who knows?
He might be writing Breaking Bad.
There is an interesting suggestion.
Showmanship, yeah, possibly.
I could go with that. Speaking of showmanship, as we said, this is a set piece scene. Obviously, very heavily homaging The Thing here, very heavily, but not a direct rip-off. You know, it's close enough. You've got the building tension here. Having watched the thing, how do you find this scene, Haryan?
I think I prefer this. I do prefer the thing scene, but I think they still do everything as you'd expect it, with the right tension and everything. Just everyone has to test, and they get Casey to do it first, which I guess makes sense, and then it slowly goes around to everyone else. And obviously, when Casey's tweaking a bit, it's like, oh my god, he's changing. Get the gun, and the drug dealer just like. Just leave him, man. He's just tweaking.
So
I
liked a lot of elements in this. I liked that you were naturally having them sort of increase in paranoia and throw accusations at each other and make accurate observations. Like one of them saying to Mary Beth, "This shit all kicked off when you came here." It's like,
that's true.
But it's buried in the other observations, so it's nicely done. It's very nicely done.
One of the weird bits comes at the end when they catch Delilah as compromised, and the first thing she does is just run outside, and there's a student driver car just waiting there. But why is that there?
you do wonder why, if they knew she was there, if they know the group is there, because they know she's there. Why is the house not surrounded?
Yeah, why not just get them all? Yeah.
I think it would be far better for her to just run off and then be like, we'll never catch her, but we've got to get out of here right now.
Another example of collectivism failing.
Get wrecked, commies.
I like the little dynamic as well, as like Delilah and Mary Beth are obviously somewhat in cahoots, and Mary Beth is trying to use her allergies to get out of it, and it's just like it's not working. And then it's like, okay, Delilah's going to have to throw it. So a question I have for you, the obvious one, is given that we think we see Mary Beth snort the powder, do you think the film cheated in this scene as well? Given that we get a flashback to it.
I know we get a flashback because naturally the first question you'd be asking was like, well, hold on a minute, she took it. Why isn't she like tweaking and all like reacting the way Delilah did? Again, this is when I first saw it as opposed to when I saw it on Sunday. I remember seeing that and being like, hang on a minute, how did that happen? Like, did they forget about it? And then obviously they did the flashback and reveals the pen. The only thing that sort of jars me a little bit is she uses her like alien finger to like unscrew the cap, and I'm like, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
that definitely didn't happen.
There is a bit of cheating because I'm rewatching the scene and the cap's still on, but the pen's empty. Yeah. So obviously, you need the cap off.
I mean, it cheated, but I think it was just sort of like to try and to go back and sort of like retcon what happened.
It would have been, but it would have been fine if the cap wasn't on. Like that's all you needed to change.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? Even better still, right?
Yeah.
They could have just done without that scene. It could have just been a bit of dialogue. I saw you take it. I saw you, and she'd be like, but I didn't, because everyone got caught up with Delilah in that moment. So they didn't really need that scene. She could have just been like, but did I though?
Yes. But it's a good set piece. It's effective. It's got its own thing. I like the idea that they've got to get a little high. And it's also kind of funny. The film doesn't lose its sense of humor all that much. I quite like that. Whereas the thing is very serious for most of it. You get the occasional bits of very dry, dark comedy. This has got a slightly different vibe.
Well, it's screamification.
Oh, this Robert Rodriguez bashing makes me want you to watch Spy Kids.
Oh, we like him. We like most of the stuff he does, but he isn't always polished, but he has good energy. From Dusk Till Dawn being a great example of this.
He's done some of the new Star Wars stuff. I think he did some of Mandalorian, and he did quite a bit of Book of Boba Fett. And they're some of the worst directed things I've seen in my life. He's got some good stuff in this, but a bit of the direction in this we've been through is not great. So, don't know.
He's a lot more about emotion and energy than maybe tidiness.
Yay!
I think it'd be fair to say.
Yeah,
Don't worry, Bilbo. I don't know who Robert Rodriguez is, so
because
No, director of Desperado.
you know me. I'm
Okay.
not big on director producer names and all that jazz.
No worries.
I,
No
I
worries.
see film. I watch film. I enjoy film.
I'll tell you one
Or I
thing
don't
we
enjoy film.
credit him for. He directed Stab, the original footage in that was used in Scream.
Oh, there you go then. What a legend. From Dusk Till Dawn as well is a brilliant film, actually.
I suppose you have to think what it means that they invited him to direct the bad version of Scream. You gotta think about that sometimes. Anyway, it moves us on. You know, we're heading towards finale. They use puppet master logic to decide that there's a queen they can take out who's probably at the school.
Yes.
And we get some great stuff in this. It's quite a prolonged finale. It's some quite high tension, you know.
yeah,
Very much in enemy territory. There are some gorgeous shots. There is the big high school football game going on, which has some brutal moments of takedown and then infecting other players. A lot of it is shot in some lovely slow motion. Robert Patrick is giving some fantastic expressions to the camera. Just having the greatest time, really. He's loving this role.
Oh, definitely.
And it's just such. What I found so effective about this is the idea that, you know, your protagonist group, they have to go deep into enemy territory. I love it. It's effective for raising the tensions, raising the stakes, and increasing their paranoia. Love it.
Why does Stan go outside?
That I'm not sure about.
I mean, is he going out to check to see if the other people are cured or not infected anymore? I just don't-
I've got it. So I wasn't clear on this. So their guiding idea was that the Principal Drake was the queen.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And having killed her, which is quite interesting, Stan decides to go out and check on the football team who he knows is out there to see if their plan actually worked.
Okay.
Arrested Development director voice. It did not work.
No.
There we go. I did save the image from this because this is just look. We rag on Robert Rodriguez a bit, but this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird, beautifully shot. Oh, I love it. I love it. But the killing of the principal is also quite good. You know, it feels quite satisfying on its own. You've got this lovely effect. Yeah, some CGI, but it still looks all right. You see it very briefly. And there's also that clever bit of foreshadowing as well.
Pearl necklace. Interesting.
Ooh, woo. This bit of Mary Beth actually getting to be active, so you've got to have this moment where you're not sure if someone's infected or not, and you shoot them, and then you're just like, oh gosh. You've seen that a few times now, but it is an effective moment. You know, and that's revealed. No, they didn't just shoot a random human. They have actually killed someone who's infected. They're getting back. She has this wonderful effect, and Mary Beth comes to the rescue and basically chucks all the powder on her.
Gee, I wonder why she would do that.
It's
she's
such
scared.
a great
She's
bit of
panicking.
misdirection.
She's a klutzy woman. Oops.
I liked this. I thought it's such a
Yeah.
great little bit of misdirection in this. And
Yeah, do you know
see
what
her doing,
it's-
and she's like, oh, F's sake.
Yeah. To be fair, like when going back to when I first saw it, everything happens so quickly. You don't really stop to think. And then obviously like later on in the big reveal, that's when it all starts to make sense. Like, because again, watching this the other day, I knew why she pretty much just unscrewed the lid and just lobbed the entire thing on there. Oh, now presumably you won't have enough to stop me from doing what I'm doing. But oh, my cat's scratched at the door. But yeah, when I first watched this, everything just sort of happened so quickly. You're just sort of like, whoa, okay. Have they done it now? And yeah, then obviously they haven't.
Yeah. No, yeah, and obviously they go outside to check that, and then a lot of them get split up, and then we get some ridiculous bits, other pretty good bits.
Ridiculous bits? Hold on. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Haryan?
The whole bit with Zeke and the car. They do a Simpsons moment where he crashes into a bus and they both just explode for like no reason.
Fair play. Yeah. I did like I like the motivation that they think, okay, well, we do have some more of our special weapon, these drug-filled pens. Look, guys, drugs will help you. Drugs will help you win. Man, 90s. The 90s is a special time. But I found it really effective when they're having to dodge the football team. You know, you've been reminded of this threat. They come back, and then Casey is crowded into the bus. He has a confrontation with Delilah. Oh, I thought that was good. Did that work for you? Get you a little spooked?
In the bus? I was a bit like, why is she there not getting help? She's just like, oh. She basically just... I mean, obviously he already knows that she's compromised, but everyone's still around the outside and not actually coming in to help or try. I mean, they're just kind of banging on the windows. It's like, I know you can break them. And yeah, then he just gets out the roof and then there's no one actually around the bus anymore. And he manages to run off because the whole football team comes around from another bus instead. And I'm like, oh, that's strange, but I get it. He needs to get away.
Yeah, I will. I think him jumping out the sunroof was something of something of a cheat, but I like it. I like the tension. I liked it a lot. While we're waiting, TCG has just popped away, so I just want to say,
I'm back.
No, go away. I've got an announcement. No,
Allowed.
You're
not allowed here.
I'm going. Bye.
Go away. Never come back.
Oh gosh, what is that? No, that's driving me mad. What is it? Go away.
What?
Never. Oh, Gollum. There we go.
Yeah, it is Schmiegel.
I was just going to say thank you, Needle and Fur. Just got a notification that you've subscribed on Subscribestar. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. You will get some bonus content very soon, which is great. So really appreciate
You should
that.
all give proper horror show money.
Yes, yeah. You know, I'll repeat my shill. I am working on stuff that will be some exclusive content, and I will aim to get you at least advanced content. And on Subscribestar, and when we do members on YouTube, if you want to request a film, then I will make sure we get a stream done on that. So hopefully be an incentive. I know I've got Life Force to cover, which I'll get done fairly soon. And yeah, I appreciate it. I try not to go on about it too much, but you know, I love doing this stuff. But I'm trying to put a little effort on getting the memberships, getting the Subscribestar, because there is the more ambitious project I want to do, which I'll actually need a bit of money for. So that is why I'm pushing it. But it's all really appreciated. Thanks very much. Oh no! Don't cancel Haryan. Cancel Haryan is the hashtag we use.
What did I do? Oh God! Everyone says I should get cancelled.
Oh dear! Shocking. No, thanks very much, Needle and Fur. That is really appreciated. You're a star. Okay, so we get this, and then we are, as you say, people have been split off. They've been armed. We've got that wonderful moment of tension. and I'm looking for the right screen cap for it, and I'm coming up blank. Where is it?
I got T2'd according to Bilbo Balboa.
They'll get wrecked.
Oh no!
Love it.
I'm looking for our little moment of revelation about Mary Beth, and I'm struggling to find it. Do keep talking, folks.
Go on.
I'm looking. Where's that tentacle image I had?
Oh no! Wait! Don't make sure you're looking in the right folder.
Oh no!
I know. Oh dear!
Yeah, not that folder.
Why are there so many schoolgirls and tentacles in this folder?
Oh, dude! Oh.
I need a better way of organising all these. Here we go. Here we go. Here's our revelation, lads. Here we are. Stokely and Mary Beth having a moment.
Oh yeah.
And then she gets the tentacle out. It's she gets a bit weirded out by it. You know, I expected a new woo.
You can have a new woo. You can also have the alternative reading of the faculty, the subversive reading.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay. So let's say we've been riding with one reading so far. It's a kind of freedom-based, libertarian, liberty-based, like we are anti-systems that want to control us and strip us of our identity. Rah, rah. Autonomy for all, okay? That is a very easily seen message in this. But I would put it to you that there is a subversive message in this. And it would be the idea that actually these wholesome institutions, such as the school, the football pitch, are a danger to you. The outsiders who are not fitting into those institutions are the heroes. And the real threat, the deep thing right at the heart of all of it, is this trad, modest girl from the heart of America. The idea that she is actually the ultimate threat who comes to undo everything. It's quite a subversive idea.
You made me want to kick desks. That's all I have to. Yeah.
It is interesting. It's a reading you can apply. You could equally just say, well, she's so wholesome and sweet that no one would ever.
Exactly. Well, that was got to be my point. It's just, no, I think they just did that to make her trustworthy.
There is also a nice reading that, you know, she is basically the outsider in current 90s America. You know, she's so traditional in a very untraditional time.
And she's very friendly. Yeah,
she's a darling. You can forgive the tentacles because of that.
Well, here's the thing about her character.
On a trolley truck line.
Well, here's the thing about her character, right? Is you know, from the outset, she's somebody who has been. It's clear that she's been introduced as someone who's from out of town. You have this alien creature, which is quite clearly from out of town. You know, she doesn't fit in. The aliens don't fit in. Blah 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 blah. She essentially is too obvious a character to be the main antagonist. However, she is, and I think that was a good thing, because it was so mind-numbingly obvious when you're trying to figure out who the person is. Of course, you would look at Mary Beth and you go, well, it can't be her because too many things line up. There's got to be some sort of convoluted twist somewhere along there. You know, it's like trying to work out, like one of the Midsummer Murders, killer in one of those episodes. But it's literally the answer has been, it is staring at you, it's hammering at the door, it's there in your face the entire time, and then it's like, oh, it actually is. Oh, great, fair enough. But
it's a double bluff.
Yeah,
I can love it. It's also good going because the way she goes, you get the feeling that maybe this shy girl is a bit of a persona.
Yeah,
because. In scenes that I have for some reason got no screen caps from, she's very unshy.
Oh, yeah. But you could have just put screen caps up on my stream, to illustrate.
Oh yeah, fair play.
It was around about the 56, 57-minute mark.
Yeah, lot of unexpected nudity in this. I really so after this reveal, there is a bit of a chase, and Stokely is mostly the victim of this. They run into the pool area. Stokely is tripped. There's some lovely effects. I think this is where the CGI works so well. When Mary Beth goes into the pool and becomes a massive creature, and then slims down again into the human form. Oh, that's good. But you get the scare when Stokely is caught and pulled, and her face smacks into the side of the pool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I felt that. That was visceral.
Haryan just saw Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
Which bit?
The headbutting into the table.
I've not actually seen Black Widow.
You must have seen Mauler's analysis of Black Widow.
I did see Mauler's analysis, and I know what you're on about now. Yeah, it's 4 hours, man. It's easy to forget those 4 hours. Or stuff in those 4 hours, I should say.
Can you believe this? Fez is trying to bait me into showing boobs.
Fez, you're doing the right thing.
Terrible.
Keep going, Fez. Keep going.
And I zoomed in really close, and I think she's wearing pasties, so it wouldn't work.
Boo.
Bzz.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like when Stokely gets turned, and we do get Josh Hartnett running in to rescue them in a really quite effective, creepy scene in the locker room. And I love that when he comes back to Casey, he forces him to sniff again. I love that he didn't drop it.
Yeah.
It feels so savage. Like, no, you got to do another hit, man. I don't trust you. Okay. Yeah.
Although he did handle it a lot better than the first time.
Yeah, it's getting accustomed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My man.
Oh, yes.
But yeah.
And, oh, gosh, where is it? The eternal fight to find it. There we go. Which leads us in. Now, I believe this was Stan Winston created. We have the final chase against the monster in final form. Very creative, you know.
But it was really dumb. Why go full Resident Evil monster to get through really tiny gaps in a bleachers, like collapsing, when you could just like turn into the woman? Do you know what I mean?
Around.
Or just go around, yeah.
Oh,
there were a couple of things it could have done. I'm just saying.
I was caught up in the moment. Oh no.
Yeah, but the moment
I wish I'd gone for why didn't I not go for a different screen cap? Gosh darn it. You know what I'm just seeing now?
What?
Nightmare World Jar Jar. This is Darth Jar Jar revealing himself.
I can kind of see it.
Oh no. Oh dear.
He was a plan all along.
Yeah, I mean, this massive Resident Evil monster is clearly just destroying all the mechanisms behind the bleachers, and the bleachers are still like slamming back. I'm like, okay, that can happen. I guess we need this bit with the victory. I just think it could have been done better.
You do have to have quite a big payoff to that. I mean, I just don't think it would have been as satisfying without this. Yeah, it's very Resident Evil. I can sort of live with it.
I'm fine with the Resident Evil monster. Just to be clear, it's just the way it's getting stuck after breaking all the mechanism. It's like, oh, that should be broken though. Whereas instead, he could get it stuck in the bleachers and kind of out the other side. I don't know. Basically the same thing, just to have the bleachers coming in. I guess. I don't know. That was a bit. And then he says, "Guaranteed to jack you up" when he gets the pens out, and I'm like, oh. It's a 90s film. It needs the cringe line, I guess.
Thing, yeah.
It could have been worse. It could have been about ice skating uphill, you know.
But yeah, obviously, he just like it's a bit of a throwback to early on in the film.
Yeah, It is incredibly 90s that you've got to have the payoff.
Yeah.
I was like the sort of cheesy line.
Mm.
I'm trying to think. Don't they still do that? They still do a cheesy line, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, of course they do. Some of them work, and that's fine. It's just I don't know.
No one will ever be better at the cheesy one-liners than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
That's
I was watching The Running Man the other day, and it's like, Kellyanne, here's Plane Zero. No, sorry. Now here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero. It's like, dude.
One day we are going to get to do the Running Man stream.
We will.
We will.
have to.
Much delayed, but we will get to it. I'm so excited because there are so many Arnie lines in that. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, so we have to have our big monster fight. Far more satisfying. But see, everyone else is seeing it. Everyone else is seeing Nightmare Jar Jar now. Oh, there's no getting around it. But yes, with the monster defeated, people come back. Apparently, even people who had been decapitated recover. Although the principal's still dead, from what I can tell.
But to be fair, the principal got a tank load of powder thrown on her face. So
she got shot. I think the main thing that will have killed her is the shot in the head. I'm going to be honest there. I think
she got back up.
She was fine with that, you know.
No, she got up.
She
got up, started healing, but then she got sprinkled with all that stuff, which stopped the healing. So I don't think her brain fully recovered.
I love that. I love that you use the word sprinkling, or sprinkled.
Well, yeah. Well, all right, she got salted. I don't know. What do you want?
Just a crap ton of powder lobbed on her face, sprinkled.
Yes. No, it's sprinkled. It's like, powdered sugar.
Running Man counts as horror? How? No, it's not. No, of course not. It's an action movie. I'm allowed to watch other things.
It's a bit creepy, but yeah, we go rogue on these. We'll do it as a rogue stream, Fez. I've got my tightly planned arcs here, but occasionally we need to bust out onto a Thursday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
the resolution to this, you had mentioned, they are lucky that it is
guaranteed to check you up.
It is very handy for them that there is a queen that you can kill, and then that resets it. I'm not going to go too hard on that idea, but I would say that it's maybe it's a simpler conceit to have an enemy that has a one focal point of witness that you can take care of.
Yeah.
Because you kind of, how can I say, if you've got that in there, the story's that little bit more predictable. You know that they're going to take out that one node and then everyone's cool. It kind of gives you a lot more purpose. I'm trying to think when I've seen this recently.
Well, it's I suppose like real life, isn't it? If you take out the queen of an ant colony, all of the drones will soon follow. It's kind of that sort of mentality, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a bit of a thing with these films. It's hard to understand how the hive mind actually works because they don't seem to actually communicate with each other ever. When they should be, but
no, they have a lot more individuality than you get with the clones. I mean, one of the things you really notice in Invasion of the Body Snatchers is that actually, in comparison with this, you think, actually, how do you stop them? They're a hive mind, but there isn't a single thing that you can take out. Like that's why humans lose most of the times in the invasion movies.
Yeah.
Also, we get to everyone's sort of happy endings, of which we can question a bit.
Man, I've got a big one. You know when you get that little montage with all the magazines, and basically all of them are asking like, was this real or not? How does a massive F-off Resident Evil monster body not confirm it happened?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Well, right, okay, so I can explain that. The body dissolved.
That's what I'm guessing.
Well,
Yeah,
it is-
it
you see it happening.
Mm.
You see it happening soon after
It
the
does
body starts
start.
to
I'll
devolve.
give you that.
So it's possible that the body that the body foot is dissolved. What I'm more concerned about is you've got this like, oh no, they kept it stum. However, what you've got to bear in mind is it wasn't just the main protagonists that were affected by it. You had all of the students, you had people from outside that, you had law enforcement, not to mention as well that that there are going to be elements of the media which might want to leak this, and the internet does exist in this film. People are going to talk. It's not out of this world, and not to mention a head teacher's missing. You've got Edward Furlong, who's also missing. Mary Beth, who, okay, you could argue she isn't missing, but students who were living under one of Haryan's rocks, who weren't aware of the situation, could have potentially asked a question. Oh, where's Mary Beth nowadays? The things have changed.
Yeah, I think I do like the element though that having the evidence and talking about it doesn't change too much. This was. I think you would see this story and you think, oh, that's kind of a kooky story.
Maybe.
It wouldn't necessarily. There'll be. How can I say? How many things do we have we read about that would be just seen as a very fringe idea?
I read about a certain laptop belonging to.
I didn't read about a certain laptop. I tried to, but all the links kept getting removed. It was so weird.
Oh, strange.
It's probably nothing though.
Definitely happened though.
Yeah, I kind of like that sort of cynical view of it. That kind of works for me. But I will point out, I'll throw Fez a little nod here and say yes, it is. It's kind of massive cope from. It's an easy way out for writers. Let's say it's a way to build up the tension really, really big and then quickly deflate it in time. It's kind of like when you have a anything where it's a magic spell and then you just destroy the spell and it resets. No Way Home was reasonably good at reducing this, I thought. They did impose permanent costs in a way. That was still kind of good. But one of the best examples, this isn't me being original at all. This is someone else pointing it out, I'm afraid. But it was it was a comic about Return of the Jedi and the new Death Star being taken out again, and then just like instantly all the Empire forces just step down and be like, "Oh, no, we're done." I mean, they took out the boss. It's over, bros. Like, the logic of that is like, it makes sense to us as the audience that the heroes basically had the main objective, take out the one thing, but the idea that then every other part of the Empire is like, oh, call it a day, boys. Little silly, little convenient. There you go. It's maybe a little more savage. If you want a film that does that really well and doesn't fall down that trap, there is the other sexy Josh Hartnett spectacular 30 Days of Night, which
I've
I
got
think
that on DVD.
Oh,
We have to cover that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about an arc where I just try and traumatize you two. Just like, we have fun, but I thought maybe as a horror stream, maybe I should actually try and scare the crap out of you guys.
Yeah, sounds good. It's the whole reason why we watch horror.
Yeah, just go for something a little harder than we've done previously.
Go hard or go home.
Yeah. Who called this a Breakfast Club ending, by the way? Stokely getting degothed.
Well, I don't know what mate.
Yeah, Mergoot called it. Well done. Yes, Breakfast Club ending. Well done. It's the old reverse Grease. Yes. It's an interesting one, I'd probably see it quite cynically, but I kind of love this. She's wearing matching colours with him. She's a sweetheart now. I like that. However, there is one pairing that the film ends with that is maybe a bit less easy to celebrate. You know exactly what have I got it aimed at? Oh, it saved us. Wait a minute. No.
Is Sigma Casey?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was I was fine with Sigma Sniffer Casey with his special whiffs of love that he got that the girls can't resist. No, I'm fine with that. I think it was the idea of a Zeke, a 19-year-old, hooking up with his
nonce
teacher. It's a little noncy.
Get
You're gonna have the old South Park cops in there going
nice.
Little questionable.
I mean,
little questionable.
He's an adult.
It's a bit.
Yeah, it is said, you don't need to redo your senior year, which I think he's 18 or 19.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He's an adult.
But it's not like Ike and Ike's teacher in South Park, is it? It's
no.
not quite that.
I got a burr, guaranteed to back you up.
Oh no.
Really,
that is an interesting reading.
So is that the episode where Cartman says, sex isn't that hard, you just stick it in there and pee?
I think so, yeah.
Just stick it in there and pee.
It is certainly an irony of this that in a thing. I mean, I'm not sure they push too hard on the idea that you become completely conformist. Like, it's not like Body Snatchers, where people really do become conforming, emotionless, hive-minded drones. As we said, this is one of the things that slightly problematizes the faculty, is that we're not really quite sure what the infection does. You know, in a way, it almost seems to let people lose their inhibitions, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of the time you're having people just say, you know, I wanted to do that. And given that when Famke Janssen here, a future Mrs. Jean Grey and a far more questionable character on the series Nip Tuck, when she is infected, she goes from super shy, humble teacher to quite the vamp, spitting some Jerry Springer style sass.
Yeah,
it's a weird scene. It's a very weird scene. This one, doesn't even wear the glasses. That's how you know it's a 90s movie. Take the glasses off and suddenly they're a 10 out of 10 Fox.
It makes sense.
And she let the hair down as well. This is She's All That again. All over again, guys.
It's just a fringe.
Well, the whole idea is that they try and get other people compromised as soon as they can, and a way to do that is obviously, I'm going to look hot for this 19-year-old. It's not Nancy, at least.
I think there's a reading where she's really wanted him all along. Just like Robert Patrick wanted to stab the principal through the hand.
Yeah.
So it's a pairing I have a little more trouble supporting, let's be honest. Also, as we're rounding up, I just want to throw in one thing that I wondered: am I being crazy? Am I overthinking?
Probably.
It's this. This is like 20 minutes into the film. All right.
Are they twins? What the hell?
Exactly. Are they twins? We have to ask. Questions have to be answered. The guy on the left, the shoulder you've got there, is actually Stan. He's just walking off, so it looks like it's lacking context, but he's just had a fight with Delilah about, he's quitting the team, and she's like, no, you have to fit this role. And he walks off frustrated. And then you see these two identically dressed students. Is that a foreshadowing about the sort of takeover, about the sort of joining of a hive mind? What do you reckon?
I'm going to kick my desk.
Okay. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Okay.
I think it's just two girls, dude. Like,
yes, two girls, but one cup full of coincidences.
Identical twins exist. Maybe.
That is true. Identical twins do exist. And identical twins I know do have dressed the same on certain days. Then again, they had to. It was part of the work uniform. Still.
Did they swap their name badges?
They actually did once. It was very annoying.
All right, I had to flag it up. It stood out to me. I thought it was weird. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Was there anything else you wanted to say on The Faculty?
It's all right.
Oh,
not really.
It's all right. I don't know. It's all right. What do you want?
It's a very 90s film. Okay, in that case, let's go into our summary score, our closing thoughts and scores for The Faculty.
Yes.
TCG, would you like to go first?
Yeah, it's a classic. Draws inspiration from other well-known horror movies. Does the whole Kevin Williamson meta sort of awareness as well, which I quite like. There's some definite parallels to films like Scream and other works of his. Yeah, this is just a film that's stuck with me since since I first saw it as like a 12-13-year-old all those years ago, and it's still just as enjoyable to watch all these years later. Things like the CGI side of things, obviously, 1998, not exactly the best, especially when you had Jurassic Park to compare with a few years earlier. But what I do appreciate about this film is that there is a fine balance between that and the practical effects, which the latter definitely shines in this film. Some minor sort of quibbles about certain points of the film, certain motivations, certain actions, but nothing that sort of breaks it for me. A great cast, some really strong cast as well. Even to this day, you sort of think, Christ, they're in this film. But yeah, I mean, overall, I would say it's a solid 9 out of 12. A decent amount of cheese for the little humorous bits. We're going to swap the ketchup out with mayonnaise, though, just because of the old the old, pen in the eye effect. But yeah, 9 out of 12. Some mayonnaise in the burger and some cheese.
Nice.
It's very fair. Speaking of the old pen in the eye, you notice that they do. You talked about some of the shots from Scream that you noticed them using, like the pan down onto the school. You notice they also used the Scream ending credit style.
Yeah, I did notice that. The font was very similar, wasn't it?
Yeah, the font was a lot neater, I'd say. But
Yeah.
it's a whole. You get a photo of the actor, and then who is moving, but then finishes on one image. So straight from the way Scream ends. But for Jon Stewart, they use a deleted scene that we haven't seen because he's got his eye covering back.
Right. Okay.
It was just a weird thing I noticed, that they didn't use something that we'd seen in the movie, that they clearly shot it and were like, we'll use it. Why not? We've got more scores coming in. But yes, it's clearly the Scream influence. Would you like to go next, Haryan, or would you like me to do it?
I can go next.
Go for it.
It was all right, The Faculty, as I say. I don't say there's anything in the film that made me go, like, wow, that's some, like, really, really smart writing. Had the right amount of foreshadowing. Characters were consistent. For kind of your classic 90s high school ensemble. It reminded me of Scream a lot. I still can't get over the ending where the magazines are like, "Oh, was it real or was it fake?" And it's like, there's no way they're hiding this. 2 of the teachers are dead. But no, I like the way the characters interacted quite a lot in it. We didn't mention as well, but with the scene where they're fighting with the tank and the teacher, where Zeke just rips off a thing, like the blade off a guillotine. I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool, and that's consistent with
hot.
Well, that, and it's also like, the school like underfunds like actual subjects as well. So it's like, of course, these things are going to be breaking apart.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a neat
Oh.
thing to bring together.
Nice touch. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about, and you know, some of the horror scenes were good. Like, some of the horror scenes were good, especially the opening scene. Like a really good way to open a film like this. But then they kind of ruin it later with them just randomly disappearing outside Casey's house. And the dad was too harsh. Like, let the kid keep his porn. Like, Jesus, man, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you know what would have been funny for me, right, in that scene when she's like, "Oh, the porn." If you look down and went, "Yeah, that's not his."
Or he just goes, "What porn?" He reads them for the articles.
Yeah. Nerd.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this film's got some good stuff in it, some bad stuff in it. Nothing spectacular, nothing really breaking it. So it's around, you know, above average, I'd say. Probably 7 out of 12 burgers.
What
with
would you have
some
said
nice
if you
cheese.
were? What would you have said if you were Casey, Haryan, and they were
Where?
taking your mags?
I don't have any pornography whatsoever. I'm a good Catholic boy, so I wouldn't know what it's like to be in that situation.
God, you can smell the lie from here, can't you?
I'm sweating.
You wouldn't be like, "That's for research."
Yeah.
I'd say if you take it away, I don't know. It doesn't really work when it's family, but you know, if like my friends stole my porn or whatever, I'd be like, "Oh, fine, I'll just think of your sister instead." Doesn't really work with your parents, though, does it?
I regret asking now. This is
I don't really know what you expected.
Did you say seven burgers?
7 burgers, yeah.
Okay.
With cheese.
Okay, with cheese. All right. Let's go for the prediction. Oh.
Right, yep, here we go. So we got prediction for Haryan. Who are Garbage Gláeddyv? As a fan of scream and sharp dialogue, Haryan enjoyed The Faculty. He may query the specific of what being infected means, how it works, or why nonce teachers constitute a happy ending. But they didn't stop him really enjoying the film. His eagle eye likely caught several of the cheats the film uses, i.e. the test scene, teachers waiting outside Casey's house and disappearing, but they don't ruin the film. He found the finale, from the scene in the bus to the locker room, actually scary and liked the reveal. The metafictional elements, while not perfect, also integrate well, and he appreciated that too, though he questions the nihilistic depiction of school life. Overall, a solid start. 9 out of 12 burgers, 11 if he shares my Clea, Duvall and Josh Hartnett bias.
You really overestimated how much 90s nostalgia I have.
I maybe did a bit. I mean, I didn't say you'd upvote it for the soundtrack too much, you know. I even said you wouldn't know who Garbage are.
I don't know who Garbage are.
I think you'd like them. Their second album,
Probably.
Garbage 2.0, is pretty cool. It's pretty good.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So a little off, but yes, there were some sloppy story elements. So yeah, okay. Got to focus on that story. Gosh darn it.
I've only been doing this a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty low. It's pretty low. I've got to say. Could I talk you up to an 8, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Let's hear what you have to say.
All right. The Faculty is a very original film. It's interesting that it's coming from the meta film era, the meta horror era, but it also doesn't lean on it too heavily. It would have been so easy for them to really ham that up 2 years after Scream and just like really be like, hey, everyone would be, it's just like The Thing, we'll do The Thing from The Thing. But they didn't. They had one interesting meta discussion and they didn't overstress it. I thought it was very well judged. It's also an interesting evolution from the Invasion of the Body Snatchers films in that it's really taking a different angle on it. It's not just repeating the beats that we had from it, and I appreciated that too. It's all wrapped up in snappy dialogue. It looks pretty great. The casting is really strong. whether you've got veterans like Robert Patrick and Piper Laurie, random casting like Harry Knowles from the Ain't It Cool news site, who's in for like 2 scenes and does nothing, and Salma Hayek, who clearly filmed all her scenes in one day, you know. But it's absolutely solid casting. Flows really nicely, doesn't waste any time, builds up tension, has some great set pieces. Moments of sloppiness can't really detract this from being an absolutely great watch. That, you know, this has to be about my 5th or 6th watch of this film. And there's plenty of analysis you can do on it as well. Like, there's interesting messaging, but it's clearly not preaching, because you can do that very subversive reading, or you can do that very autonomy focused reading. It's all good. So what I think we saw here was something very original, very snappy, and a great thing to share. So for me, it's very strong. It is 10 out of 12 burgers. A little bit of cheese, not too much ketchup, loads of mayo.
Beautiful.
I'm not going up.
Ah, did I mention?
In fact, I'm going down. I'm going down to 4.
What about Jordana Brewster? You like Delilah, right? Come on, she's worth a burger.
Nah, she got with the nerd unrealistic. Like, completely breaks my immersion.
Worth a burger? She'd definitely get porked. Wait.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
I think you might. Are you saying there's maybe a little bit of a screenwriter projection in her hooking up with Casey? Maybe a little bit.
I think it's just saying to all the nerds out there, you've got a chance, which is the biggest lie I've seen. This is why we have incel shooters. Just saying.
I didn't expect a reference to the Supreme Gentleman to turn up in the stream, but what do you know? All right, yeah.
Andrew Famke would definitely get a point up.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Okay, folks. Well, that is, you know, I would. Oh no! Come on, Bilbo. Come on. This is Clea Duvall in her prime. She'd just been on Buffy a year before in the episode Out of Sight, Out of Mind. You know, this is prime Clea Duvall. She'd also filmed the wonderful gay classic "But I'm a Cheerleader" very recently.
Hold on.
Okay, all right, fine.
Let me be the judge. Clea Duvall. I mean, yeah, she's all right.
Possibly a bit butcher than I realise. I am not in the majority here.
Does she have abs that a gentleman may lick?
I think if any of the women in this are going to have abs, it'll be Clea Duvall.
Oh,
quite butch.
Yeah, sorry, but Bilbo, absolutely spot on there, man.
Oh, folks! Actually, I realise we can save this. We can stay on Super Nanny's good side. I got distracted thinking about Josh Hartnett and Clea Duvall again. Gosh darn it! Anyway, very good start to 90s sci-fi horror. As you can see, we've got some beautiful films coming up. The next thing you should watch is Alien 3. We're enjoying that. We got Scrump coming on again. Sadly, we cannot be joined by Lambda, but I will see if I can get a score for the film out of him. I'll now turn to wonderful guests and ask you if there's anything you'd like to shill TCG.
What the hell?
I want to get in before Super Nanny.
All right. Okay, very quickly. Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, I'm going to be streaming. Yeah, you can. Oh God, what have I done here? Okay, yeah, sorry. Wednesday, Friday. I had my intro going on in the background. I thought that was you. Right. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 11 p.m. My channel streaming. The Wolf Among Us parts 3, 4, and 5. That's me this week.
Nailed it. Watch it. It's fun. Haryan, how about yourself, sir?
What am I doing? Tailed Features channel tomorrow. Episode 100 of Reader-Driven Variations. I believe it's going to be a 3-hour one. With I think some special guests, plus going through a load of memes and a load of stories from the past 2 weeks. In terms of videos, what should I do? There's been a lot of Salt going on, and I'm not sure why. So I might look into why Salt mines are reopening this week. But you know, I hear it's something to do with like the RVW company or something. Like I've heard that something's being overturned there, so I might look into that. for a video tomorrow. But who
I'm
knows? I
lost
might
but
surprise you.
intrigued. Lost but
It's
intrigued.
Roe versus Wade. Gee.
Oh gosh, there we go. It's late, man. It's late, and I'm very scattered. Yeah,
Awfully
do
scattered.
the video on that. That'll be good.
Yes. Okay. I might.
All
I'll
right.
think about it.
All right. We're within the error bounds of Super Nanny's rage. I think we can do it, you guys. So I'll reiterate. This is our 90s sci-fi horror arc. Get your Alien 3 watching in. We will be back next week. I'm going to be posting about the upcoming massive video with ways that you can support the channel if you want to see it early. I'm going to give massive thanks to you guys for keeping the chat lively and hilarious. There have been some absolute winners in there. And Haryan and TCG, absolute stars as ever. Also, apologies to Wes. I did not confirm him early enough, and I messed his schedule up. But I think we will get him back for a later film. There's another one he's interested in, so we'll hopefully balance that out because Wes is fantastic to have on a stream. I'm going to end it here. Thanks have been said. It's been a good time. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks, y'all, and cheers.
Hashtag Shield Gang.
Night all, night.